Well, hello and welcome back, fellow fluff chuckers. I'm back here at Sharpley Springs today. So there's only me today. Tom's gone sea fishing. He's entered a species hunt, so he's trying to get off the mark with that, get some species ticked off. But like I say, I'm here at Sharpley Springs. It's been a bit of a chilly start, frosty morning, but the sun's out. I mean, not a cloud in the sky. Slight bit of breeze, it's looking good. So I'm going to see if I can catch a fish from each one of the lakes today, other than the Tiger Lake. I'm not quite sure how well that'll do, but I might have a look on it later on, we'll see. So yeah, I want to get set up. I'm starting on Albert and Alice Lake. I've got a couple of new lines to try, and I've got a little question for you, which I'll get to later on once I'm sorted. But yeah, I want to get set up, get a line in the water and see what happens. See you in a bit. So the first line I've got to try is the Gray's Platinum X Intermediate. Got a 1.5 inch per second sink rate. I like my last one was a Snowbie, and I liked it, but it was short. It was only 75 foot. Oh, there's a fish just topped there. Might be time for a floater, actually, rather than intermediate. That's the second one I've seen top. Well, yeah, it's really nice at casting, actually. Nice and smooth. Feels like it loads the rod well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I'm not letting it sink for very long because, like I say, I've seen a couple of fish moving up on the top. So I've got a damsel nymph on to start with. It's a pattern I've never seen before. I've just been given it from the bailiff, so thanks for that. I'm going to see if I can catch on it. Yeah, this line's really nice. 3 false casts, and it's a good distance out. Oh yeah, as I said, it's been a frosty start, but it's supposed to warm up later on in the day, so hopefully we might get a bit of buzzer action. See if we get a bit of a hatch going. There's another one just topped. I wonder if this sun's got a hatch, triggered a hatch. Right, so I've seen a few more fish moving, so I've took the intermediate line off. I've put my floating line on with a buzzer, a little black buzzer. And that brings us on to my second line that I'm trying out today. After putting a post on Facebook about my fly line feeling a bit light for the rods, got some excellent tips and advice. But then I spoke to Phil from Spots and Stripes Fishing, and he recommended this Reed River, the Long Haul Mark II. He gave us his discount code to use, and I've got to say, it absolutely flies out. I'm pretty impressed with it, to be honest. It's smooth, it's straight, effortless to cast with. I've got a bit of a crosswind as well, and it just flies out nice and straight in front of us. So it feels like it's loading the rod, which the other line I had wasn't. So let's see if I can christen it and get a fish on it and give it a bit of a stretch. I'm just twitching the buzzer for now, but I might try it static in a sec. But yeah, I've seen some nice fish topping. Although it's still very cold, I was expecting it to be down a bit. But they seem to be looking up, so yeah. Yep, I'm liking this line. That's pretty much a full reel out there. And it was minimum effort. So yeah, thanks for recommending that, Phil. Appreciated. Now let's see if I can christen it. See you in a bit. So I've seen a fish top 2 or 3 times now, just out from the bank. So I'm just trying a little short cast. Letting the buzzer just sit there. Every now and then giving it a twitch. Might go on to a little hairs here. Like I say, I do like it up at Sharpley. Nice little lakes, pretty well kept, lovely scenery. It's always full of friendly people. Yep, fish on. Took a little buzzer I tied up last night, the black one with blue rib. It's not a particularly big fish, but my God, it's going. He's in the net. Get him unhooked now. There, give you a look. Flies just in its top lip. Oh, there he is. Yeah, not a particularly big fish. It was a good scrap. So that's a fish from Albert and Alice Lake. I might have a, well, I've just seen a fish top further over, so I might have a toddle up there, see if I can get a fish from that side, and then I'll move on to one of the other lakes. So I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, couple of casts off this bit and I'm into a fish. That black buzzer again. Oh, we've got a jumper. Although it is bitterly cold, I think that sun's done enough just to warm up the top layer of water, and there must be a hatch, because there's lots of fish moving, and they're taking this buzzer. It's fish number 2 in the net. Oh, that's a very speckly one. There are markings on him. Very full of spots. Lovely little fish. Off he goes. Yeah, this like I say, the sun must have warmed up the. Take my glass off because I look silly. Yeah, it must have just warmed up the top layers of water. Got a bit of a hatch on. Like I said, it's icy cold. I think it was like 1 degree or something when I got out the car, so I wasn't expecting them to be this high up. Oh well, let's move on to. I might go on to Hangman's Lake, which is a natural lake, and see if there's any action on there. See you in a bit. The Hangman's Lake is naturals only. You can use damsel nymphs. I think that's like the closest to a lure that you're allowed. There's no indicators allowed on here. It's got to be sort of kept as real as possible. So I've got my line out with that black buzzer on again, and I'm just going to do the same method as before. Just let it sink for 10, 15, 20 seconds. Give it a couple of twitches back to get it back up in the water, and then leave it. And the 2 fish I've had doing this have took it when it's been back on the drop. So I've not seen any fish move on here yet. So I might put a weighted nymph on and just go a little bit deeper. But we'll see. I'll give it a little bit of time with this buzzer. So just whilst I'm waiting for my next fish, if I get one, I've got a couple of questions. So I'd like a bit of feedback in the comments. So the first one is, how long do you give a fly before you change it if it's not working? Because I know when you're having difficult days, I can quite easily go through my whole fly box in the space of 20 minutes. And I sometimes feel I'm not giving the fly long enough, not giving it a long enough chance for the fish to sort of see it and take it. You know, have a few casts with it, get nothing, change flies. I'll try not to, but sometimes it's a bit hard when you're not catching. It can get a bit frustrating trying to figure out what they're taking. So yeah, how long do you give a fly before you change it and try something different? And then the next one is, what would you class as a good day when you're out fly fishing? Now the reason I ask this is me and Tom's recently fished a water where we both had a good day. We'd enjoyed it, we'd had a few fish each, and we were talking to someone at the end, and it was like, yeah, I've had this many fish, he's had this many fish, you know, we've enjoyed it, we've had a good day. And their response was, well, not for us, it's not. Now at first I thought, I didn't really think much of it, but the more I thought about it, I thought it was a bit snotty. So yeah, it was a bit. Then I got us thinking, so what do people class as a good day? Because for me, if you've been out, you've enjoyed it, you know, it's not about how many fish you catch. I can go out, I can catch one fish, but if I've had, like, been with one of my mates, we've had a bit of banter, had a laugh, weather's been, well, say the weather's been nice, it's been horrendous lately, and I've still been enjoying my sessions. So yeah, what do you class as a good day? Is it about number of fish you get? Because for me it's not. It's just whether I enjoy the day out or not. And 99% of the time when I'm fishing, I enjoy it, whether I catch fish or not. Catching fish is just a bonus. You're out the house, you're in the fresh air, you're in nature. Like, you know, the fish is a bonus. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you'd class as a good day, if you've got the same views as me, or, you know, I mean, don't get us wrong, it is nice catching a big bag of fish, but for me it's not the be all end all of fishing. And if someone comes up to you and says, I've had 2 fish, you know, I've had a good day, happy days. You know, I know where you're coming from. So yeah, it just sort of got me back up a little bit, that, but it was only afterwards when I was thinking about it. I thought, in what way did he mean that? It might have been in a harmless way, but it's not how I come across after thinking about it. So yeah, I've changed from my buzzer to a damsel nymph. I've not had a touch on it, so I might go back to the buzzer. Or if I not give it long enough, I don't know. Anyway, I'll stop rabbiting on now, get back to fishing. I'll see you in a bit. So I'm still on the Hangman's Lake. I just had a little move. I've seen a fish topping just out here. It's topped 2 or 3 times now, so I've come round to get a cast in. I've put my buzzer back on. I'm just fishing it the same as I did before, allowing it to sink a bit, just keeping in contact with my line before giving it a couple of pulls so you're back up in the water column. So let's see if I can wiggle a fish out of here before I move on to the Doxford Lake. Now there is a bit of a breeze coming through, but it's not really putting a ripple on the water here. Not like it was on Albert Alice Lake. Alice and Albert, Albert and Alice, can't remember, whichever way around it is. So I might come back to this one later on. I'll give it another hour, I think. Even though the wind is due to pick up ever so slightly later, so that might put a ripple on here. But we'll see. Oh, there's another one just topped. Let's see if I can. Oh, not got enough line out. Well, I'm giving up on the Hangman's Lake for now. There is fish moving on the top, but they don't seem to want anything I'm putting in front of them so far. All I can think is it's completely still. The wind's not putting a ripple on the top the way I'd like, so I'm wondering if they can maybe see me line or something's putting them off. So I've had 2 fish out the Albert and Alice. I'll come back to the Hangman's. I'm going to move down onto the Doxford Lake. This is the main lake. There's a nice ripple on there. There's quite a few people on, but I'll have a few casts and move about and see if I can find any. So I'm sticking with me black buzzer for now. That's what has worked for the last two fish. So yeah, see if we can wiggle anything out of here. I'll have a little bit with this buzzer and then maybe switch to a lure. Who knows? Let's see. So on the Doxford Lake, I've been in the lodge, had a quick chat with Ian, the bailiff, and got a couple of tips. So I'll give them a go. Switched onto my intermediate line. I've got a damsel nymph on. I'll just try various depths to start with. I'm going to go onto a big dirty lure in a bit. I think there's been a few fish caught on the dam wall. Oh, there's one just top right out in front of us. Might go back on the floating line in a bit. We'll see. Oh, I've just had a take. I didn't let it sink for very long. It wasn't very deep, only a few inches. Maybe a foot at the most. See if I can entice it to come back. Really bright day. Especially after a very cold start. Frosty morning. Yeah, I'm not seeing many top. I also don't think they're very deep. Well, I've took the intermediate line off, gone to a floating. This sunshine is so bright. Look, even the hat's off. Starting to warm up nicely. At the minute, these geese, although they've calmed down at the minute, they've been causing some noise and disturbance on this water. They've all been fighting, splashing about. So I'm switching to an intermediate line, a floating line. Gone back to the buzzer I caught on this morning, and I'm just going to fish it the same way. So we'll see what happens. See you in a bit. So I've come back onto the Hangman's Lake. I was on the Doxford, but all the geese just running riot and making loads of noise. I was having a bit of a sensory overload. I'll come back over here for a bit. It's quiet. I think this bright sunshine's put the fish down, but I'll keep persevering. See if I can get one out of here. You never know. Well, it's a little bit quiet at the minute. Not seeing much move either. So I've switched to an indicator. I've come back to Albert and Alice Lake. I'll fish the indicator for a little bit. Have some dinner. And think about my tactics, I think. I think this brightness of the sun Not that I'm complaining about the sun, but yeah, I think because of how bright it is, it's maybe put them down a bit. So we'll see. Oh, I can see one swimming past us there. It's a couple of foot down, like. I've gone onto an intermediate line with an olive snake. The last two casts I've had takes. I had a really good one there and missed it. Oh, just missed another take. I'm lifting too early, I think. Well, so far, it's been bloody hard work. I've had 2 fish, a couple of takes, and that's it. It's been nice all week. And then yesterday we had a good downpour of rain, and then freezing temperatures overnight. I don't know if it's put the fish off a bit, but I've just watched a decent sized hatch from over where I'm fishing, and there was no fish moving for it. I'd have expected to see at least 1 or 2 taken. I mean, there is a few fish on the top, but not a lot. So it's been one of those days, I think. Still got a few hours left. Kind of hoping that once the sun starts dropping a bit, the fish might come on. Oh, saying I've not seen one move. There's one just topped over there. I've got a little sort of buzzer on at the minute. I say I've seen them hatching. Just not seen the fish. There's a few people have caught on lures and what have you. A few caught using an indicator. I don't know, I might chuck an indicator on shortly. We'll see. Well, I've got about half an hour left. Nothing really happened. I've lost one. I took it on the drop as I was counting it down on the intermediate line. Started swimming towards us, couldn't catch up. By the time I did, it spat it out. Yeah, there's about half an hour, 45 minutes left. It's been hard work. I've not seen many fish caught, although I did speak to a bloke who's had 11 on a white snake. So he's done all right. Other than that, I don't think there's been a lot. I've watched a big hatch happen. I didn't see one single fish move for them. Yeah, it's been a difficult day. The weather's been up and down. Coming out with all the excuses now, but yeah. See what the last half hour brings. See you in a bit. Well, that's it for the day. I'm sacking it. I've not had the best of days fishing wise. I've enjoyed it, being out the house in the fresh air. I've had a couple of fish, I've not blanked. Other than the one I lost, I've only had a couple of takes. Looking at the catch return, there's been a few caught. So I caught 2, there's been a 3, a 4, 5, and the bloke who's at 11. The last hour and a half, I've only seen 1 fish come out. That was a lad on the far bank just as I was walking off, literally about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, it's been a funny old day. So it's been nice all week. Bit of settled weather, lashed down yesterday. And then this morning was icy cold. It was about -1 when I left the house. Bright sun all day. Whether that's put the fish off for me, I don't know, I just couldn't find them. Just thinking of excuses now. I think I've not fished the best. But yeah, I'll see where I'm going next. Not quite sure yet, not decided. I'll have a look, see what the weather's doing and what have you. But yeah, if you like my videos, give them a like and subscribe. Hopefully I can start getting a few more fish. My last few sessions have been terrible on the fish front. So yeah, but on the question side of it, if you just stick in the comments, you know, what you think, your point of view, your opinions on stuff. I've tried that new line out, the Reed River. Absolutely fantastic line. Well impressed with it. So that's the Long Haul Mark II. It's yeah, brilliant, unreal. Really getting on with it. Shame there was no fish to go with it other than the 2 early on. But yeah, I'll until the next one, see you in a bit.